Have you ever wondered why children tend to prefer the screen over books? Why is it that a child is willing to pick the tablet instead of a book? And this is not peculiar to your child, it's a general thing. In today's video, we'll be considering why the screen is winning the attention of children. But more importantly, we'll be looking at how we can flip the scripts around and get children to begin to enjoy reading once again. Now, if we tell ourselves the truth, you will see that the screen is designed to hook us. That's why you see bright colors, endless scrolling, instant rewards, and you see that you pick a screen, you can endlessly, it will be giving you options, it will be giving you beautiful things to watch, beautiful images to watch. And for children, it's like a sensory jackpot. They sit down for hours, they won't be bored. For hours on end, the screen is willing to entertain them. But for books, it's not exactly like that. Books require imagination, books require focus, and they require patience. And these are things that require effort. But for the screen, no, it's just consumption. The damage is that overexposure to the screen can hurt your child. Overexposure to the screen affects the child's focus, it affects or reduces his empathy. But the good news is that this can be changed with minimal effort if you can do the following things. Let's look at 5 things that we need to do if we must change the story and get children to prefer books over the screen. Now, the very first thing you need to do if you want to get your children to begin to appreciate books and to read books and to love books is to set a reading ritual. Yes, you set a ritual for reading, even if it is for a few minutes every day. In the first place, I want to say that children didn't know about the screen before they were born. Especially the parents and the primary caregivers that expose them to the screen. When a child is born, all that he knows are the things that he's exposed to. So it's best not to expose children to the screen. But if your child has already been exposed to the screen and he prefers the screen over books, what you need to do is to set a reading ritual so that on a daily basis you set out a time for reading. For so many people, bedtime is ideal, but there are some other people that bedtime is not ideal for them. In that case, you set a book time, a time of the day that is convenient for you to sit down and read a book with your child. Yes, this is so important. It's so very important that you lay a foundation of reading for your child, because reading means a lot, right? It's one of the foundations that you can give your children that will make them successful in life. When a child can read, he will have an enhanced vocabulary. A child who can read will be very knowledgeable. A child who can read most times will be able to write. A child who can read will hardly be depressed because he will always find joy in reading. So make reading a ritual. Now, in addition to reading with your child, it gives you an opportunity to bond. In excessive screen time, a lot of children do not have any bonding with their parents. Okay, you see a situation where children are very sedentary. They sit down all day looking at the screen. It affects their eyes, it affects even communication with family members. A lot of those such children grow up depressed because all they know is just the screen. In my opinion, giving children a reading culture is one of the best things that parents can do for their children, because it lays a foundation for their greatness, okay? So make sure that you set a reading ritual, okay? Another thing you can do is to use tech to your advantage. You can introduce your children to e-readers, e-books. You can introduce them to audiobooks. These ones are still books. The only thing is that they are wearing a modern garment, okay? Now, having said that, it's equally important that you can introduce your children. There are some books that are entry-level books, books like comics, books like maybe joke books or interactive books. All these ones are entry-level books. They are fun and they are very interesting. The children love them, so make them available for the children. Now, when you're trying to introduce your children to a reading culture, one of the things you need to do is to make sure that there are books available. And sometimes it is important that you take your child to visit bookshops or libraries so that they can pick the kind of books they love to read. That makes it a lot easier, because when a child has varieties of books around them, they will read. And you know, the beautiful thing is that just as everything is developing, there are also a lot of development when it comes to books. There are all manner of beautiful books that are being dished out these days. Until you take your child to visit the bookshops or the libraries, you will think that all that there is that can capture the interest of the child is the screen. But exactly it's not so, because there are so many beautiful resources out there that are equally entertaining, but they are in book format. Okay, so use tech to your advantage and ensure that you have varieties of books. And another thing is that there are so many genres of books. Okay, so I normally say that get as many different genres as possible so that the child will be able to see something that he will love. It's just like in the house, there are different classes of food. You can give a child beans and you say, I don't want to eat beans, but then you present something as maybe pizza and the child jumps for it. Okay, that's how it is also with books. So make all manner of genres available. It is usually better to go with the children to the bookshop so that they can see what is available and make their picks. Okay. Another thing you need to take into consideration is the fact that you need to be a role model. Yes, it's so important that your children see you reading. As a matter of fact, I feel that much of this screen addiction is caused by parents, because a lot of parents are addicted to the screens themselves. Why will you be a mother and every minute of the day you're scrolling through the phone? It's the children do what they see us do. They mimic what they see in us, right? So it's so important. If you want to get your children to read books, let them see you read books and let them see you enjoy books. Talk about the books you have read. Now, one other reason why it's so important to read as a parent is because the things you will be teaching your children basically are from the books you've read. If you don't have knowledge, if you lack knowledge in the 21st century, you can hardly raise wholesome children. So read books so that you will have value to give to your children. Let them be able to see books in your hands so that they themselves will desire to read books. Why? Because children copy what they see their parents do. Another thing to consider is match interest with books. If you want to buy a book for your child, consider his interest. Whatever the child is interested in, if you buy a book in that thing of his interest, he will be interested. Okay, buy books that align with the interests of the child. If that child is interested in science fiction, then get books that has to do with science fiction. If the child is interested in nature, if he's interested in food, he's interested in tourism, is he interested in animals, whatever it is that your child is interested in, if you want to get books, get him books along that line. Once the child is interested in the books, you can be sure that he will be able to read them. Finally, I want to say that you should be quick to compliment your son, compliment his effort, compliment his baby steps. He picks a book to read, even if it is for 10 minutes, compliment him. He picks a book to read, even if he doesn't finish a whole chapter, compliment him. It's not only when he finishes a whole book that you will now say, well done, right? Children love to be praised. They love to be praised. So when you praise him, say, well done, good boy. You praise him, you will see that he will be motivated. The next day, he will equally want to pick the books to read. Why? Because he's looking for mommy's approval. He's looking for daddy's approval. So please be generous with your compliment. Be generous with, positive affirmations whenever he does his reading. If you're consistent in doing all this that we have discussed, you will see that your child will eventually be interested in books. He will eventually love to read. It was J.K. Rowling that said, a person who doesn't read has not found the right books. Every person will read when they see the right books, okay? And it's so important that as parents, you make sure that you will get the right books for your children that will sensitize them to begin to read, that will inspire them to begin to read, because so much depends on children having a reading culture. A lot of things, a lot of benefits come when children are able to read. Be that parent who will give your child a reading culture. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful video. Remember to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this that deals with how to give your children a reading culture, endeavor to click on this playlist. Until I come your way next time, keep reading.